Hello, 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 hello. I am Dr. Ian, and welcome to the Self-Taught Show. And you know what the Self-Taught Show is? It's an experience for you to renew your mind, to rewire your brain, and to ultimately reinvent your life. Today, I am extremely excited to have a special guest with me today, straight from the United Kingdom. And for me here in the Cayman Islands, it's 6 minutes after 7 p.m. And for Mr. Medford, it is 6 minutes after 1 a.m. in the UK. So, Mr. Medford, I am so grateful that you are alive and well early, 1 o'clock in the morning there in the UK. So, once again, Carlston Medford, welcome to the Self-Talk Show. Today, we are speaking on how to manage your mental state through mind, body, and environment. How to manage your mental state through mind, body, and environment. And Mr. Medford is a health and wellness practitioner right there in the UK. And briefly, let me say that well over 30 years ago, we were members of the Royal Barbados Police Force, and now 30 years later, we are co-workers and practitioners in the field of personal growth and development. So, Mr. Medford, welcome straight from the UK to the Self-Talk Show. All over to you, sir. Tell us how to manage our mental state through mind, body, and environment. Welcome, sir.
Dr. Levine, listen, thank you so much for having me. It just us here having this discussion is warm into my heart. I'm so happy I can explain it to you or your audience. But anyhow, we only got a limited time, so let me get straight to the meat of the matter, as we would say. Now, everyone we talk about our mental stability, we talk about how we process information, and we always kind of separate the mind and keep it by itself. And people will talk about physical health and keep the body by itself. But I have found over the last few years working with clients, these three things come together and work together in helping us decide who we are and who we want to be. So if you can see here, hopefully be able to draw, you can see. Let's start with the mind. Understanding the mind, you would have I normally will split it into conscious and unconscious.
Yes, sir.
And the reason, you honest, you got it. No, I'm trying to write fast, so I'm making a few minutes. Anyhow, don't worry about it. The conscious mind deals with awareness. Unconscious mind deals with unawareness. And let me explain and give an example. Right now, as we're speaking, and I ask you now, think about your breathing right now. And it brings your mind to your breathing, correct? Yes. Before we were having a discussion, you're not aware, but you are still breathing. If not, you'll probably suffocate and you'll know you're not breathing. We all know this. Now, our mind has a conscious, which is basically our creative mind of thinking and perceiving, taking the information, how we perceive that information. Our unconscious mind is basically our internal program that runs our operating system, our breathing, our blood supply, our blood pressure, all the things that we don't pay attention to, even the way that we behave.
Yes.
Right? And it's important to understand this because this is what it leads into. When I talk about mind, body, and environment, as a human being, our processes is influenced by our body and behavior. And what we don't pay attention to is our environment. Now, the way that we process information has to do with between the age of say 2 to 7, as we develop, we internalize all of the information around us and we make sense out of it. For instance, when you were a kid, I'm sure you knew if you did something wrong, you knew you did something wrong. You know that you're going to be punished because you've done it before. and in the past you were corrected for it. So you would have had a belief and realize that doing X or Y means this is either good or this is bad. So we develop our belief system. That's how we process information. All of the
Yeah.
things that we in our environment, we come up with our belief system. Now, understanding that our body and our behavior is linked. Imagine this: trying to feel unhappy when you're walking your chest high. In fact, how you position your body actually affects your mood. When we feel a bit down, or we feel, a bit something is on our mind, we bother. Ours is normally down. Our posture is very enclosed. Our shoulders are slumped. Our body posture is more or less concave into itself. We're very withdrawn. When we are feeling good and we're feeling confident, we're feeling happy, we are very open and we're expressive, and our chest is up and our eyes are up and our chin. Our body basically goes with our mood.
So before you go on then, Mr. Medford, so
Yes,
right there you're going into the level and space of physiology,
correct. That
which
is that
which,
is
which
part of the body.
there you go, which you say is extremely important. Even when we speak about emotion, emotion isn't just an emotion, but your emotions are also connected with your whole physiological makeup. What
In
you're
fact, yeah, when we talk about emotions, we do not feel hurt and pain and suffering in our head. We feel it in our body. We think
Yes, sir.
about it, but we feel it in our body. Our body is what expresses emotion. Our brain is what run the program that says this is how you feel. These circumstances are what making you or controlling your feelings. But you express and you feel that in your body. So the brain is affected by the body, and the body is affected by the brain. They're
Yes, sir.
connected. So where we of the opinion that the brain or the mind manage the body, well, they're both so connected. In fact, like I said, 15 minutes is not enough time, right? But we have a nerve that starts from the base of our neck, the vagus nerve, which actually is connected to the brain as well as into the body. So we imagine a highway or a road that goes into all of your organs. And that has a center area, and there's a stem going from that area, which is the lower base of your neck, into your brain, and that connects your brain to your heart, so that
Yes,
your
sir.
brain regulates your heart. It connects it to your lungs. It connects to all
Yeah.
parts of your body. We are
So
so connected.
yes. So right there, you're speaking about the central nervous system. We have the cranial brain. You have the
Yeah,
central nervous system, which comes down to the base of your brain, and then you go into your direct spinal cord. But what you're saying is extremely critical, and I'm so happy that you touched on that point, because I
yeah,
know sometime sooner than later we'll come back and speak more about the central nervous system, because the correlation between your brain and the central nervous system and the messages that we are receiving, as you said, from your environment, from our
yeah.
environment, the messages coming in through your central nervous system, and the messages from within, which
We
are
call
also
sensory
being
perception,
processed through your
right?
central nervous
So
system. Keep
that's
talking to
parts
me.
of exactly. So all of these work together. So once you understand that they're connected, your environment, where you live, how you carry, what you put on your everything from your skin outside, I call it environment. So how you dress, how you put makeup on your skin, if family members, work environment, social media, what everything outside of your body, that is part of your environment. Now, show you how connected and how important it is to focus on all three together. Is whoever you are is based on your internal programs. And if you're in your life, you're not getting the results that you want, it means that one of those three things, if not all three, but sometimes it may be because of fitness levels, it may be because of nutrition that affects your physical body, which affects your mental state. Having too much stress in your life is one of the things that we really do not understand and pay attention to. But having too much stress in your body puts your nervous system right into fight, freeze, or flight mode longer than it's supposed to, which means your body end up producing more cortisol. Cortisol keeps you moving and agitated. Too much of it can
Yes.
cause you to cause your modes to be in depressed state, because what we're not designed to be, our nervous system, we have
Yes.
a sympathetic and a parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic
One
system.
gets you moving, one calms you down. Stress gets your sympathetic nervous system moving, but if you're always in stress, you don't get a chance to calm down. You don't get a chance for your body to recover, and that's very important. And it affecting your sleep, which affects your ability to regenerate, which affects your ability to be cognitive strong, and that's where a lot of people end up with mental challenges.
Yes.
Um, or because we don't, there's certain basic things we don't do properly: rest,
Yes, sir.
eat,
Yes.
and examine our thought process. Now, I know I
Yes.
have very limited time, but I just want to go
Yes.
into one of the sections. I'm going to go into mine. Now, when I'm working with someone, I try to get them to understand how our brain works, right? So I call it being aware how your brain functions, how our brain works, how we create our belief system. I get them to then to analyze their pattern of behavior. Only then when you start to be aware of what you do and you start to analyze it, you start to see it. It's like seeing who you are from an outside window. So you see it from a dissociated situation. You can actually
Yes.
examine it much better. And another thing I get them to do is then figure out adjustments. What do we need to adjust? And the last thing is action. How do we start to do it? Because once you then have a blueprint and you have an idea where you're falling down, figure out what you need to do and get to start doing it, then you can correct. And one of the simplest things to do is what we call reflect and react. In other words, when something happens or somebody says something, we normally react to it. We normally react to it. We get upset, make a judgment, we assume this person means something.
Yes.
If we stop and actually reflect and ask questions like, what does this person mean? Is this another way this person could have means this, or another way I can perceive this? And we start to reflect and ask questions first, then our response, the way that we respond to it could be different. I like to ask questions. I
Yes.
like to say, okay, if you said this or you said something, this is what it means to me. Am I correct? Yes or no? What
Yes.
that does is clear up information, which means I do not leave the perception that my assumption is actually a fact. And then I start
Yes.
to react as though it becomes fact. A lot of people are unhappy because they think some people, we always use this word, people don't like them. But one, who is these people? Two, have you ever asked anyone around you if they like you or not? Or is that just your assumption that you're treating as fact?
Wow.
And understanding our belief system, how we form these belief systems, and realizing that the result we get from them is based on our internal program. Then once you are aware of it, you can change the internal program. You can identify it. But that is why understanding awareness and unaware, conscious and unconscious, you have to understand that. One, everything that we are aware of, we form a belief, and then by doing it over, we put that into our unconscious thinking. The only way to change that behavior is to bring it from your unconsciousness to your consciousness by being aware. Realize you have to change it, come up with a new program, practice it, and then embed it back into your unconscious. I hope that kind of makes it clear. For instance, and you can relate to this, playing a piece of music is difficult when you have to learn it. You practice it over a period of time. Eventually, you don't even have to think about the notes. You don't even have to think about what you're doing. You just do it
Yes.
because you practice it and repeat so much that eventually it becomes a program, a pattern, an
Yes.
instruction that is embedded in your unconsciousness. You don't even have to think about it. You just do it.
Awesome. Awesome information for maybe 30 seconds ago. We stopped for maybe a couple seconds. But guess what?
Okay.
Earlier you spoke about reacting, and I see the reward is there online, and we all
Mr. Ward.
yeah. So I want to say that we all grew up in the Royal Barbados Police Force at a very young age, 18, 19, 20. And back
Yeah.
then, Carlson and the War, who is now a pastor also and a counselor. And back then as young guys, we did what we were told that young men do. We reacted without thinking. But now we
Yeah.
have this information. Not just now, but we the more we matured and the more we came into information, we now know that we don't react first. We reflect first, and then we react in a wholesome matter. Mr.
Correct.
Manford, your
Yes.
information has been very beneficial. When we spoke earlier, we already said that 15 minutes ago disappeared very
Definitely
quickly.
not enough time.
And it
But I'm
definitely,
grateful for that.
there you go. And before we go, you are also known as the Happy Guy. Before you go, tell us quickly about the Happy Guy community and let us know where we can find you on social media, on Facebook, and wherever you are. And for anyone in the UK where they can find the Happy Guy Carlston Medford, who is a health and wellness practitioner right there in the
Yeah.
great United Kingdom.
So, at the moment, I mentioned I have a Facebook page and the Happy Guy Community Group. I use that to start talking about issues that people wanted me to mention, like how to deal with loneliness, how to deal with depression, how to pick yourself up and go when you feel like, giving up, different things like that. And I also can follow me on Instagram at happyguy.medford. Now, I'm in the process of working with different people. The last 2 years, I've been working with different clients. So I'm fine tuning my course that soon I'll be able to put something that people can actually go online and start to work around to help themselves. So just keep following me on Facebook, the Happy Guy Community, or find me on Instagram, happyguy.medford.
Excellent. And there are so many wonderful persons who I call our Facebooks, celebrities who are here on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So many persons to names to call that it will probably take us 15 minutes
So
years
much
to call all those
time.
names. But guess what, Carlston?
Yes.
Your information has been phenomenal. This has been a great show as always. For the last 3 weeks, we had a guest by the name of Mr. Paul Challenger, who is a cognitive behavioral therapist, and he gave some really, really vital information. And now for you this week, we spoke on how to manage your mental state through mind, body, and behavior. So, Carlston, before you go, tell us just quickly one thing that we should do when we wake tomorrow morning. And I am quite confident that all of us will awake tomorrow morning. So just one thing we should do as soon as we are up and alive.
This is a routine that I get people to do. When you get it, the first thing I do is sit at the end of the bed, breathe. Breathing is a thing that we take for granted, but breathing deep and exhale. Now, if you breathe in rapid, strong, right, slowly, and exhale rapid, you actually start to generate and raise your energy levels. Doing the reverse, inhaling and exhaling slowly can calm yourself, so you can do that on nights. I also think about 5 things every day that I'm grateful for. It could be the same thing, it could be different things. I recommend 5 different things to be grateful for. So start your day with gratitude. Get yourself moving. 10 minutes of either stretching, jumping jacks, a bit of push-ups. Get a bit of activity happening so you get your body notes start to moving and your blood and your one of the tricks is getting your heart to regulate. You don't want your heart continuing at the same. You want heartbeat regulation, right? Breakfast. I want to start the day with fruits and fiber. I'm not going to go in the nutrition part, but fiber is very important. Is one of the 6 food groups that you get everything in, and it's very vital. That's a whole different conversation on itself. Also, put a music list together. I recommend putting a song list of 10 to 20 songs that when you listen will pick you up. So it does not mean that you have to start your day focusing on how bad traffic is going to be, what I got to deal with when I get into work, what's going to happen in the family. Start your day by setting your intention, right, to be positive, setting your energy levels to be high, having your mind focused on enjoying that day, because every day is precious.
Excellent. Your information, as Pastor Terry, we call her Mom Terry. She said mind forming application. So to my Facebook and to our Facebook celebrities, once again, we want to thank you for joining us here on the Self-Taught Show, live here on Facebook and also on YouTube, where we had the phenomenal Carlston Medford, who is also known as the Happy Guy. He is a health and wellness practitioner there in the United Kingdom. Mr. Medford, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I trust sooner than later that we will have you again at 1 o'clock a.m. your time to the UK, right here on the Self Talk Show. I am appreciative and I
No
want to
problem.
thank you. And before I go, I want to thank Pastor Brian Calendar for facilitating the Self Talk Show week after week. So, to all of you, this is the Self Talk Show, an experience for you to renew your mind, rewire your brain, and to reinvent your life. And today we were amazed by the phenomenal health and wellness practitioner, Mr. Carlson Medford. Mr. Medford, thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Levine.
Good night, good morning to some of you, and God bless you. This is the Self Talk Show. Thank you.